from our college and other colleges of our constituent college. And I'm very glad, and I profusely thank our principal sir for giving us this opportunity to conduct such a wonderful workshop with an eminent professor and an alumni of our JNTU Kakinada. And as we all know, he is having 42 years of technical teaching experience. Very efficient lecture will be delivered by this sir. In TCS, he has been working in industry and academics, and he has a good academic background. And this sir will be enlightening us on how design and thinking process has to be initiated, how a fire has to be ignited for a upcoming budding engineer. So hope this session will be very good. And few things I want to give to the participants, like any doubts or anything are there, a chat box is available to you all there. You can kindly chat, give your questions in the chat box, and we will allow a time for you all. That is the first point. And second point is, all the participants utilize this session to the 100% extent, and we will be having 2 polls. That is just to have your attention towards the listening and also to consider for your attendance. The polls need to be answered, and that polls will be again analyzed, and sir will be having a detailed view about that polls also. And one more thing, if possible, if our bandwidth is sufficient, we will have your videos to be there. Otherwise, we will close the videos of all the participants. Only the co-host and the host videos will be available. When the question and answer session is there at 4 o'clock, we will again upload all your videos. Like, we will disable all your videos. You can be viewing sir also. Okay. Any more doubts? We will be muting all the participants. You kindly give in the chat box. And before that, please don't give good morning messages in the chat box. Instead of that, you introduce yourself, your name, you're from which college, if you're studying, which year of you're studying, and if you're professor or assistant professor, you give that. That will be more than sufficient.
Madam, one second.
Sir, Chappan.
See, that also distracts the presenter. Okay, so let them not put anything. So we
will start directly the session itself.
Yeah. So
okay?
See,
anyone want to interact with sir, you just give that thing in the chat box, or for half an hour or so, we will disable chat box also.
So let me tell you something, like if you are logged in through mobile, and if you get any incoming call, automatically your sound volume will be reduced. Okay, in that case, again, you need to re-log in. If it is a laptop, there is no problem. But if it is a mobile, you logged in, and if you get any incoming call, definitely the audio will be reduced. So don't panic, re-log in, and you will be allowed again and again. Okay. So that is one technical issue you need to consider.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Chakravarti sir, thank you so much. Now, Bhatta sir will be taking the class. Sir, you can start the session.
Good morning to everyone.
Good morning, sir.
And to all of you, as you all know, the subject is design thinking for achieving excellence in innovation. This subject is now the most hot subject across the world, because generally what happened is that the people, when they have designed excellent equipment, either services or equipment, it came out that they are excellent in their own way, but what customer wanted was something else. There is a huge gap between what exactly customer wanted and the equipment offering or service offering. As a result, most of the equipment, when they reach the market, we suddenly see that the equipment are no longer able to do well in the market, because ultimate aim is to deliver value to the customer and get some money for the company who is designing. And all the engineers who were spending their best efforts in engineering and bringing out best products never could understand why their products, which had best of technology, had not done well in the market. So as this went on, people slowly understood that what is lacking is not the technology, but what we call it as the customer insight as to whether the person who is going to use the equipment, is he going to be happy with it? What does he really want it? and are we giving him what he wants? That is how the whole concept of design thinking has gone across and now became very strong across the world. Now, this session, which will fan out for about 6 to 7 hours today, we will go it this way. First, I'll be introducing myself. Dr. Sushma has already done a bit of introduction, but I'll be giving you the detailed introduction. And thereafter, I'll start the session with what exactly is thinking and how, what type of thinking will actually create innovation and creativity. Thereafter, we move to see what is innovation and what are general types of innovation, and then move to how what is design thinking and how design thinking will promote innovation and will take innovation to a highest level, that is excellence level in innovation. So this is what is my plan to run it. So we will start the session. As I told you, first I'll introduce myself. As you all must have known, my name is Dr. Bhatta. I'm a old student of JNTU Kakinada, passed out in 1979 and got about completed about 41 years of my experience and in the 42nd year of my experience. And this is a brief introduction of mine. I spent the first 24 years of my life in development and maintenance of aircraft cockpit electronics in defense and DRDO. And after spending about 24 years, then I moved to the civil. I first joined as a vice president of a telecom company, developing hardware and software for mobile handsets. Thereafter, in 2004, I moved on to TCS, spent about 10 plus years in TCS. Initially, I was, I did several delivery roles. The last post I held was the Global Program Director of Business Excellence. Before that, I headed the Embedded Electronics Division all across the globe in TCS and also handled several projects in 16 countries. After that, I headed India operations for the South Zone. I moved into academics about 6 years back in 2014 and initially joined as professor and chairman of Industry Interface and Executive Education at IIM Indore. And 2 years back, I moved to my present position, Professor and Dean Research at Xavier Institute of Management and Entrepreneurship, Bangalore, which is a Bangalore unit of XLRI Society. I also guide PhD scholars in engineering and management. Coming to the proficiency in subject, I got first-hand coaching and experience of innovation and design thinking from Steinbeas, Germany. I also taught innovation and design thinking to postgraduate students, both at IIM and XIME, taken up several live design thinking projects for the industry and engaged in innovation and research activities from very early in my career. Did about 50 global software projects end-to-end, headed the team for developing first dual SIM mobile in the world, the hardware and software, indigenously indigenized several cockpit avionics for Jaguar aircraft and specially awarded commendations by the Chief of the Air Staff. My certifications are Certified Innovation Management Specialist from Steinbeas, Germany, Jury for National Design Innovation Awards, Jury for Innovation Bazaar of Titan, Certified Agile Scrum Master from Scrum Alliance USA, Agile Certified Practitioner from PMI USA, implemented Agile methodology in several major projects in TCS, Agile trainer, conducted 30 Agile workshops in TCS and academic institutions, certified in qualitative research methodologies from London School of Economics, certified in case method of teaching from Harvard Business School. Yeah, generally, I'm a bachelor's degree holder in electronics and communications, PG in aeronautical engineering, electronics, coupled with MBA in operations research, and a doctoral degree in reliability engineering, certified project management professional from PMI USA, project management certification from IIM Ahmedabad, Six Sigma Black Belt, Gold Grade Business Excellence Assessor for Tata Group, CII Exim Award Assessor for non-Tata Group industries, presented research papers in international conferences, USA, Canada, UK, Hong Kong, etc., published several research papers in Harvard and other international journals. This is all about a brief introduction of myself, and now we will go to the subject proper. We all see human mind is like a parachute. It only works when it is open. We all know a parachute doesn't open in time, it is of no use. Like human brain also, the more you keep it open, the better it is. For the beginning of this, my slide is that keep your minds open, listen carefully and ask as many questions as necessary and possible so that you can get best advantage of this. We are talking about innovation and thinking. I've just started with a small exercise. There are 9 dots that you can see on the screen. All of you can take a small piece of paper and try and join all these 9 dots using 4 straight lines. Do not lift your pen up from the paper and do not go over any line more than once. Just see how you will try and join all the 9 dots using 4 straight lines. You can use the chat. If you are completed, you can write in your chat box. I see somebody saying yes, yes. Only 2 yeses are there so far. One more. Great, great. Now I see SS flowing like a river. Somebody says going out of box. Fantastic. Most of you have done it. Now I'll show you in the next slide what is the method of doing it. You can see this. Now, what is it that we have done is when we started with the left side bottom dot, went straight up outside the box, came back again, joined 2 more dots, turned left and joined 2 more dots, turned right and went up and joined the balance 2 dots. So in this, most of us get confused thinking that for doing it, we'll have to stay inside the box. There are no such boundaries. Nobody has given such boundaries. This is what we call it as thinking outside the box. Ability to go out of the box and get thinking outside the box is what is important. Most of you must have got the answer, whatever it is. Now, creativity is all about thinking out of the box. Now, question comes. We talk about thinking. And what is actually thinking? See, many of us, many times, realize that every minute that we are alive, the brain is thinking. Even when you are sleeping, the brain is thinking. Brain is thinking about something that you have not been able to achieve, either about the examination next day, or about your girlfriend, boyfriend, or about money, something or other brain is thinking. And continuous thinking of the brain gives rise to what we call it as dreams, what we call it as so many things. So, But what is actually thinking and what type of thinking actually promotes innovation and creativity? Now, let us say I'm giving you a question. A man enters a field with an unopened package and dies. Why? Can you think of some answer and write it in your chat box? A man enters a field with an unopened package and dies. Why? Not a single answer has come till now. Oh, lot of work. Very good. Package is a time bomb. Lovely. Fear. Government didn't open the package offered. Oh. Man has some health issues. Toxic. Lot of thinking. What is inside it? Is it a coffin? Sealed cover? Great. Lot of ideas, lot of thoughts. Now see the next slide what it is. The man is coming from the sky with a parachute, and the packet with parachute has not opened and fallen into the field and died. See, the question is, none of you are wrong. Anything could be right. But the basic thing is our ability to think as to what could be possibility. Now let us see whether you can think out of the box. How will you put this? How will you read it as? How will you read it as? Write in the chat box. Board under man. Man on board. Man above the board. Man on board. Man over board. Very good. Lovely. Everybody is thinking. Thanks on a Saturday morning. Now what do you write this? I've already changed to next slide. I understand. Lovely. Excellent. Now, reading between lines. Fantastic. Lovely. Lot of people have given a lot of thoughts. Reading between lines. Next. Crossroads. Lovely. Next. Tricycle. Lovely. Next. Next one. Some more thoughts. PhD without knowledge. Very good. Somebody said PhD without knowledge. Zero knowledge, MD, PhD. Lovely. the expected answer is 2 degrees below 0. The expected answer is 2 degrees below 0. Okay. Let us see how you interpret this. Lot of guesses. It is neon light. Neon light. Yeah, somebody has just come out. Santosh, Assistant Professor of Engineering, JNTUK, NRT. Great. Neon light. Now, six feet below ground. Almost everybody got it right. Now, he is by himself. Lovely. Now, lovely. Some people have come. Backward glance. Backward glance. Now, life after death. Lovely. Now, think big. Somebody has come out. Think big. Lovely. Some more thoughts on this? Somebody has put exclamatory. Somebody said feeling bored. Somebody said too large. Somebody says bar. Very good. Somebody is in a very good mood. Madam, somebody, I don't want to say the name. Okay. Okay, the expected answer is not a Fibonacci series. Fibonacci is completely different. The expected answer is a long time no see. Long time no see. You can see all A's and B's. So it is long time no see. See, if you actually see this, what is in front of you is something else. Long time no see. What you see is, and how you interpret is something else. That means we are trying to become creatively trying to interpret what is in front of us. Now, suppose I put you to a question. Just see this question and see what is your interpretation of this. A woman walked up to a man behind a counter and handed him a book. He looked at it and said, "That will be $4. She paid the man and then walked out without the book. He saw her leaving without it, but did not call her back. How come?" Some thoughts? Very good. Library book return. Library book overdue returning. Very good. She has returned library book with a penalty. Excellent. Overdue library book. Okay. There are 5 sisters in the room. Anne is reading a book. Margaret is cooking. Kate is playing chess. Mary is doing laundry. What is the 5th sister doing? Any thoughts? Lovely. Playing chess with Kate. Lovely. Excellent. Playing chess with Kate. Now, if you look at this small puzzle, what will be the missing number? Good. A lot of people, almost everyone got 4. Some people said 8, but 4 is the right answer. Excellent. There are 2 girls. One is facing south, other is facing north. Yet they can see each other without mirrors. How can it be? They are facing each other. A lot of people got it. Both the girls can face each other and see. Lovely. What you can see in once in a minute, twice in a moment, and never in 1,000 years. Lovely. Almost everybody got it. M, the letter M. There are 3 doors in front of you. You have to go through one of them. Behind the first door, fire is raging. The second door, a gunman lurks behind the second one. And the third one, there is a lion which hasn't eaten for 3 years. Which door will you choose? Yeah, a lot of people have come out. Lion, because if a lion has not eaten for 3 years, it would not be alive. See, the whole idea of running this small exercise is to make you alert and tell you that creativity has to come out of continuous thinking. Then the last one, Thiru wanted 4 special flower pots. The owner of the flower pots gave them to him on the condition that all the 4 parts are to be arranged equidistant from each other. Thiru is wondering, how is it possible? Help him in achieving this feat. All the 4 plants have to be equidistant from each other. Square is not equidistant. A lot of people have written square. Circle is not equidistant. No. No. Rectangle is not equidistant. Rhombus is not equidistant. Linear is not equidistant. Triangle, no. Cube, no. Pentagon, no. Straight line, no. Somebody has come out, triangular prism or a pyramidal structure like a pyramid, three are the equilateral triangle and one above which is equal to all other three, maintaining equal distance each one of them. Lovely pyramid. Congratulations, Shahina, Maunika. Lot of people have come out. Pyramid, lovely, good. Let me show you a small video. You can see a $100 note under a bottle. You have to take out the note without touching or knocking of the bottle. Can somebody think of it? Let me see. I'll run the video.
I will give this $100 to either one of you who can take the $100 without touching the glass or knocking. You
Okay,
can-
so the whole like just yank it out thing, because that's not gonna work.
Yeah,
That's
it'll
not gonna
fall
work.
over. Right, you can't fall over, you
No.
can't touch it.
Because it's top heavy, so if you like yank it, it's gonna.
What if you go slowly?
And the bottle's just gonna
It's
move.
just gonna pull.
What if I lift the bottle up and take it?
Can't touch the bottle and you can't knock it over. Those are only two rules.
I think that's impossible.
It is totally possible.
Can I use something else to hold the bottle up while I pull the bill out?
No. And I just made that rule up and then you can't. There's
Okay.
another way.
And is it still touching the bottle?
It's still touching the bottle with something, yeah, you will not touch the bottle. Essentially, the bottle will actually move itself.
Can we work as a team?
Yes.
Split the money?
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah?
Ideas,
$50.
yeah.
Okay, what do you think?
Um,
Is there a spinning motion?
Ooh, wait.
she's
I should have asked Amber to do this. Amber always gets everything.
Thinking, maybe if you.
Oh, we're gonna
slide
get it wet and try to stop it? I have not seen this method before. This is something.
That didn't
Okay,
help
now
at
it's a
all.
very wet $100 bill. Thanks, Amber. It's a little soggy. It's a little soggy. The bottle is essentially, it's gonna move on its own when enticed, perhaps?
Enticed?
I am doing a magician right now. This feels so good. So good.
So
There, that might be something, Amber. That might be something.
Most of the suggestions of you people are being
But I think it's
Seen.
gonna be wet, maybe.
So you know how to get this $100 bill out of here without moving the bottle.
Without touching the bottle or knocking it over. The bottle obviously has to move, right? To get the $100 bill out. I can't touch it and it's not gonna fall over. Yeah, if you're knocking over, you gotta pay me $100.
I'm not touching that
anymore. You're
I'm
trying to. Yeah, try it. Just
I would
mess
not-
around with it. By touching it, I feel like you get a better idea.
I have no idea. Well, spin it.
Amber,
What if-
by getting it wet, Amber did make it a little bit more difficult on you.
What if you pulled it over the edge and pulled the bill so maybe the bottle would stay and you could pull the bill down?
Be careful with that.
It's not gonna. We can't touch the bottle.
Can't touch the
No, okay,
bottle.
just in case it.
This is just gonna fall.
Yeah.
off.
But
I'm not
what if you
exactly sure
pulled
what to
it down?
It's still gonna fall off. This is gonna tip.
There's no way, you can't do
Yeah, you
it.
can't do that.
You can't do it.
Let me show you. You can.
Hey,
Yeah.
if you knock it over, do we get the 100?
No.
Oh.
You guys have already quit. You're calling it quits?
I
No more
Yeah, I just wanna
guesses?
know how you're doing,
I have
it. You
no
plan on
idea.
doing this now.
Alright. Okay. Not touching it.
That's so simple.
It's so simple.
That's ridiculous.
So now,
Do you want my magician card now or later?
So some of you have correctly guessed it. Congratulations.
I will give.
Okay, now let's get down to the subject proper. What do we mean by thinking in new boxes? What is actually a box, and what do we mean by thinking in new boxes? What is actually a box? See, when you meet one of your friend, you will identify the friend. How do you identify the friend? Somewhere in your brain, you created a small box that, okay, these are my classmates, all their names, all their pictures, you have stored it there. And when you meet that person, when your eyes have seen the geometry of the person in front of you, you have sent the photo picture to your brain. Brain went across the boxes, found the place where his box was available, and identified and said, he is so and so. That is what exactly happens when we meet somebody. That means to understand the world around us, we have created some boxes inside our brain so that the brain will identify that when you meet that, the brain will try and put something. Suppose you meet somebody in front of you whom you have not met earlier, and you see is a male person, then your brain tells this is a man, or this is an old man, this is a middle-aged man, this is a young boy, this is a small boy. How does it recognize that? That means somewhere inside your brain, you created a box which has got the qualities of an old man. And when you see an old man, you may not have known him earlier, but you immediately, the box which has got the configuration of an old man will match with that, and you say, he is an old man. This is a cow. This is a dog. This is a brown dog. That means the colors, you put a box in your brain which has got various colors. It matches with the brown color. You say this is a brown dog. This is a white cow. This is a black cow. That means whatever real world in front of you, to make it, to identify, to classify, and to recognize that particular thing, you create a box inside your brain. Now, boxes help you to make sense of things that are in front of you. But what happens is, the boxes also up to certain level of detail and only to certain period of time. Suppose you meet somebody whom you met in your childhood, you meet after a long time, your brain struggles to find out who he is or what he is, because as the time passes, boxes become more and more obsolete and the boxes will start disappearing. Now, these boxes are created because you've got infinite amount of possibilities in front of you. You find a four-legged animal, there could be infinite number of four-legged animals, but for you to identify, for you to give a name, you call them, you put them in a box and make it manageable situation, what we call it as boxes. Our brain constantly uses these boxes to make possible to cope up with whatever is the real world around us. Now, as you go ahead, you keep reshaping and refining your boxes based on the new information. Suppose tomorrow you go to a new place, see a new type of a person, a new box gets created. Oh, this type of people. People from Punjab look like that. People from, say, Kashmir look like that. So you continue to create new boxes to match the new information. Whenever is a fresh observation which is completely not matching or incompatible with the existing boxes, immediately a different box gets created in our brain. Suppose, for example, you're seeing me first time. There is no box that matches. So you take me and create a new box to identify me. Similarly, every time you come across completely unknown and new thing, you will create a new box. Now, if you look at this picture in front of you, you can see we have created some boxes. Boxes are based on concepts, various judgments of structures, patterns, and categories, ideas, frameworks that we create these boxes. And these boxes are within us, that is within our brain. And whatever comes in front of you, complexity, whatever uncertainty, whatever items that come in front of you, you take them, take it to your brain, see whether they are going to match to any of the existing boxes. And if it matches, you put them in that box. If it does not match, you take them out and create a new box. This is what we call it as box. You cannot think without boxes, so don't even try, because there is no way that you can think without boxes. There is no way of trying, because unless you create boxes every minute, when you put infinite number of things in front of you, unless you create them boxes and identify them, you cannot possibly recognize what is in front of you. So don't even think that any human being can ever survive without a box. Now, what is the thinking outside the box? People keep telling you, think outside the box, then only you'll get the answer. What is this thinking outside the box? There are three basic problems when somebody tells you think outside the box. The first problem that happens is it's very hard to get out of the box, because we are used to certain type of thinking and we continuously search whether it is possible to find an answer within the existing boxes. Second is, it's also quite tricky to determine which of those many boxes that you have to get out of, because you are searching for me among many boxes. You are trying to see which of these boxes you have to get out. And even if you find out of which box you have to come out, now you get worried as to into which box do you need to go, which box you have to create. That means when somebody tells you go out of the box or think out of the box, it creates a huge amount of confusion in your mind. What is this coming out of this box, coming out of which box, and go into which box? In other words, box is not something tangible that a carpenter has made it in your brain. Rather, it's a model in your mind, and every mental model that you create, no matter however brilliant and great, it will eventually need to be refreshed and replaced, because the things continuously change in front of you. In the world will continue to evolve while your box stays open. So you need to create more and more boxes. Now, if you look at this diagram, you can see a pictorial representation of boxes in our brain. There are millions of boxes that get created. And when you have to think out of the box, you are now wondering into what box do you have to get in and what new boxes you have to create. Now, the key to being creative in practical ways is to understand your existing boxes to a great degree, and to then attack any situation or issue by developing a range of new boxes. That means understand what boxes are existing and now go ahead and create new boxes. Now, how do you create new boxes? Here I want to introduce you to two types of thinking called inductive thinking and deductive thinking. Have you heard of these words? If you have heard of this, I'll stop for a minute. You can tell me what is inductive thinking and what is deductive thinking. You can write in your chat box if you have heard of it. Not a single message has come in. Great. Okay. Nobody has come out with any answer. No idea. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. Don't worry. Now, write all possible answers to the following questions. Now, if I say example of a mother eats, what will you write? Mother Teresa. I am asking example of a mother. My mother, very good, or maybe your friend's mother. See, now, if you see, the answers to this particular question are finite. Example of a mother is some mother you will think of whom you know, or somebody has written Mother Earth, grandmother, whatever it is here. Now, if I change this question, mother is an example of, what will you write? Mother is an example of, somebody said love. Okay, very good. Love, care, affection, goddess, affection, sacrifice, caring, unconditional love, love and care, sacrifice, affection, true love, God's gift. Carry on, carry on. Relationship, okay. No words to express. Embodiment of love, undefined creature on earth. Meaning of love, equal to God. Everything provided. Great. Now, if you see the second question, where you have been able to give me almost about 100, 150 answers, the second question, when you look at it, the possibility of giving an answer here is very high. The possibility is, you can think of mother is like the sky, mother is like a flowing river, mother is like tall as Himalayas, mother is having a huge heart like a football ground. You can give anything you want. Whereas in the first question, you have specific answers. Those specific answers are either your mother or some known mother of your family or anyone, you give somebody. The basic question gives rise to infinite number of answers. That is, when you answer the first question, you are thinking deductively, whereas in the second question, you are thinking inductively. With deductive thinking, your mind uses a logical process to solve a problem to which there is just one or a limited set of correct solutions. Whereas, with inductive thinking, by contrast, your mind can go in many different directions. It's free to make new associations, take risks, invent, imagine, and the end result can still be logical, but it can be much more unexpected logic. With inductive thinking, there is always more than what meets the eye. That is, your imagination starts. Now, for example, when you put mother is an example of, you can write perhaps a million answers. Everybody can have their own creativity, their own thinking on this. Now I'm showing you something. When you are confronted with something in the world in front of you, how do you go about interpreting it? According to logic or according to imagination? Deductive and induction are two different ways of thinking, can help you to solve problems. Induction is when you observe something and use that information to create new models or update the existing models. Deduction is when you take the models in your mind and use them to act. Deduction uses existing boxes. Induction creates new boxes. Both types of thinking are critical for practical creativity, though not at the same time. Both and a good understanding of both are essential for thinking in new boxes. Now I'm showing a picture. All of you can see this picture. How do you interpret this picture? Use your inductive thinking and start writing about how you want to interpret this? Heaven is the limit for your imagination. Angel in jail, lovely. Dancing slave, independent prisoner, break free. Woman with restrictions, Devasena, restricted freedom, locked with flowers, freedom bird. You can even have more imagination. Parrot in gold prison. Oh, lovely. Creative is struggle, freedom is struggle. High thinking girl living with restrictions. Dancing lady using flower petals. Talent requires discipline. Somebody says living. Oh, good. Nature in lockdown. Fantastic. Colorful woman with a lot of joy. Breaking all the chains. External things cannot be a limit for happiness. Enjoying the slavery. Oh, you can go more than what your eye meets it. You can think beyond what your eye can see. Come out of all difficulties. Freedom for women. There is no complete freedom in this world. Freedom with restrictions. Goddess nature. No limit to fly high. Being happy even though there are problems. So lovely. Somebody, Pragyesh, very nice. Crazy, searching happiness in sadness. No, I'm seeing, at least I've seen about 100 possibilities now going on. Still a girl has to complete freedom in the world. Breaking the restrictions to feel happy. I would like even wild guesses. Please go to some wild guesses. Everybody is stuck with the chain and lady and woman and flowers. Can you think of something poor to buy dress? Oh, somebody can think of any wild guess? Our thoughts. Locked by flowers. Excellent. So now, if you look at this picture, you can write a poetry. You can imagine anything. You can even interpret the colors of red and yellow. You can think of the girl whatever way you want to put. You can think of the chains that is stopping her, whatever way you think. There's so many possibilities that are there when you see the girl in the chains with this flowery dress. There can be n number of possibilities. This is what is inductive thinking. Our ability to look at infinite possibilities is inductive thinking. Otherwise, all of you could have just said a girl in chain and wearing a flowery dress. But here you can see the infinite number of possibilities that are in front of you. Now, if you look at this diagram in front of you, induction, if you see the ideas and hypotheses and theories are in your brain, and world is in front of you, In deduction thinking, what you do, you take the world in front of you, try and put into your models. Whereas in induction thinking, you take the world in front of you and try and see what infinite amount of models that you can create. Because that means you have no limit for your imagination in inductive thinking. No logic is required, no explanation is required. You can think any way you like, and induction thinking permits you to do that. Whereas deductive thinking, what you have earlier written and what you have earlier done during the exercises, is that you have a logic, and perhaps the number of answers in front of you are limited as by the logic that is in front of you. Induction is a richer form of thinking. Induction pushes you to ask questions, to challenge the rigid rules and tired frameworks, and to take risks that you simply can't take while thinking deductively. If you remember how you have interpreted the picture, some people have gone nature, some people have given so many thinkings. That means it will allow you to take any amount of risk. Induction always adds something and offers the best chance of making new findings. It is not purely and objectively logical. As I told you, nothing needs to be logical in induction, in part because it is linked with your subconscious mind, with your subjective experiences, with parameters that are yours and yours alone. Why I said subjective experiences? For example, if somebody has got a bad experience with a Punjabi person, and when he meets a Punjabi person, he may think in a very, very wrong way. Whereas somebody has got a good experience with a Punjabi person, he says like a god, like this. That means every inductive thinking gets influenced by your subconscious experiences, or your subconscious readings, or your subconscious learnings. No two people are identical in how they will see and interpret what is in front of them. You've already seen when I've shown you that picture, everybody had their own way of interpreting. Some people have interpreted in one way, some people in another way. I see that people are raising their hands. I will request you to write your question in the chat box. After 5 minutes, I'll pause for a minute, look at the chat box, answer all the questions and continue. No two people are identical in how they will see and interpret what is in front of them, nor are they identical in how they will then use those interpretations to build new models. Thinking in new boxes is a discipline that uses both inductive and deductive approaches to gain more control over your current boxes by understanding them clearly as what they are: mental representation of reality. Create lots of new boxes to test your assumptions, envision new opportunities, and strengthen your capacity for innovation. Eventually select among these new boxes. Now, there is a 5-step approach I can give you how you can think in new boxes. The first step is doubt everything. That means whatever is in front of you, do not immediately believe it, and think that can it be something other than what you have thought. That is, all your ideas, even the most successful and hypotheses within you, are not set in stone. Here we propose a variety of approaches to help you understand how the ways you have been pre-wired may be curtailing your ability to develop. That means when you look at something, you get forced to think in one way because your mind is restricted. The minute you open your mind, your thinking will start increasing. It encourages you to rediscover the inductive thinking and understand the need to step outside your narrow cognitive comfort zone and take risks. This pushes you to contemplate provocative ways to frame the primary question or issue you are hoping to explore. Step 2 is probe the possible. As you have seen, step 1 was doubt everything in front of you. Then once you doubt, now the step 2 comes, what are the other possibilities than what you are thinking? Here you will re-examine the world in front of you with vigor, diligence and refreshed self-awareness. You will have established a very clear sense of the issues you want to address and the objectives you hope to accomplish. And this will help you analyze the world not so that you can determine the right answers, but rather you can ask the right questions. See, innovation is all about your ability to ask right questions, not ability to find right answers. If the question is right, you'll always find right answers. See, there was one story that goes, when Albert Einstein was teaching at Oxford, every year he was giving the same question paper. So his teaching assistant asked him at some point of time, Dr. Einstein, every year you're giving the same question paper. Don't you think people will have easy way of scoring marks? Dr. Einstein answered that the questions are the same, but year after year, the answers to these questions have changed. If you actually see, every question can have different type of answers. So never try to find a right answers. As long as you have the right questions, your inductive thinking will take you to see many answers. The third is, this one is diverge. Diverge means spread out. The best way to have good ideas is to have a lot of ideas. Divergence calls upon you to create many new models, concepts, and hypotheses and new ways of thinking. It entails freeing up of the mind and spirit so that even what may seem like foolish or ill-advised boxes are not rejected. That means even something is foolish, you don't reject it as it. Fourth step is converge. After you're spreading out, now you try and narrow down. Here we'll switch from the open mind, delight of divergence, to more analytical process of testing your ideas. Here is the time you look at all your thoughts and slowly taking out those thoughts which may not really be appearing possible to you. Convergence is where your ideas transform from a long list into a more select group and eventually down to still smaller number. 5 is re-evaluate relentlessly as the world is in front of you changing. Do not stick with the same answers. Keep on looking for new answers, new convergence, new divergence, and so on. Here we will ask you to stay on the top of your boxes to determine when it is time to discard the old boxes and develop the new ones. A fundamental requirement in this step is agility or a penchant for taking thoughtful risks and learning from examined failures. So we'll guide you through a range of weak signals that your current thinking may be nearing obsolescence and you have to change. So here, inductive and deductive thinking, we will hold on, look at if you have any questions at this stage. By decreasing somebody's beauty, we can increase another one's beauty. By cutting down the flowers, I think many of you are still with the picture that you have put. Let me see if you have got any questions.
Sir, can we allow a few questions?
If you have any questions, please type now.
1 second, sir. Participants, kindly raise your hands if you have any questions. We will allow you, we will unmute you. Is everything clear? Please type in the chat box at least. Okay, sir, everything is clear. They are typing, so we can continue.
Discovering something new. You can repeat step 3.
Step 3.
Okay. Can you please provide time to write? See, Sushma madam, please tell everybody that I'll be giving a complete PPT in a PDF format to you. You can distribute to all those who have participated. So they can here make minor notes. Actual PPT I'll be sharing with everyone.
Okay, sir. I'll send it through mail also. So as sir told, you will be getting your PPTs. So kindly, you need not worry about taking the notes and all. Listen the classes attentively, and if any questions are there, please raise your hands. And sir, in one of our participants were asking about third point to be elaborated. Can you do that, please?
Yeah. Somebody else has asked for the second point also.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me get back. I'll cover these 5 points once again. There appears to be first and foremost thing is doubt everything. See, you don't start calling me I'm a doubting Thomas, which we normally call it in our as per the Bible. There's something called doubting Thomas.
Just the only question, Raymond.
The whole idea is when you look at something, immediately your brain tries to find an answer. And usually when you find one answer, your brain stops thinking. The whole idea of telling you stop, doubt everything is reject all immediate answers. Get down to inductive thinking. Could it be something else? Could it be something else? Could it be something else? That means first you reject all your thoughts, saying doubt everything, the thoughts that come into you is the first step. The second step is probe the possible. Okay, I have doubted everything, but now what is possible? What can happen? That is called probe the possible. He'll re-examine with refreshed self-awareness. That means you clean your brain, give complete rejection of previous thoughts, and now you are looking at what could be the possible. Now here you now start looking at new possibilities in number 2. In number 3, what we call it a diverge. Diverge is writing or coming to huge amount of possibilities. Okay, let us apply to the picture that I have shown you earlier. For a minute, I'll take you back to that picture. If you look at this picture, first thought is that a lady with a chin and trying to dance or trying to stand or with one leg. Doubt everything. That means, why should it be? Can't it be somewhere something else? So you start doubting on this. Then you look at probe the possible. Probe the possible means, okay, if this is not this, what all could be possible? Now the third thing is diverge. Now you start thinking, could it be blood bath? A lady going through a blood bath? Or a mother earth, nature crying because of her abuse? Tears of blood flowing down? Could it be that a lady is still, after so many centuries of our development, lady is still tied in chains? Now you're diverging. You come out with, say, 1 lakh possibilities, 1 million possibilities of interpretation. After that, you go to the fourth. Fourth is converge. Now slowly bring down the possibilities. Now diverge, we have finished. Converge is slowly use your analytical thinking or logical thinking and slowly come out reducing the possibilities. Here is we, from a long list of possibilities and divergent list of possibilities, we bring it down to slowly bring it down to what is logical, what is acceptable. Here we narrow down the list, that is converge, and we keep re-evaluating this relentlessly to see the between divergence and convergence. As the situation changes, new possibilities come in. Hope this is clear. Somebody has written something else. Okay. So we will have short about 2 minutes of break. For every one of you have a glass of water, and we'll start exactly after 2 minutes. Okay, everyone, I'm back.
Sir,
Yeah, I'm back.
sir, one participant has raised her hand.
Ah,
Let us have her query once.
okay. Host has asked you to start your video. Yeah, somebody has stopped. Can't you see me?
No, sir, your video is not visible.
Okay, okay. I don't have the. Has somebody removed my host to this one?
Yeah. One participant has raised her hand. Once shall we
Okay.
give her a chance?
Yeah, please.
Oh, it is by mistake, it seems. You can continue your session, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Sir,
All of you,
your
please.
video is not visible, sir.
Can you see my video?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Now it is visible.
Okay. You can all see my cup of tea
Chakravarti,
also.
sir? No.
Can you all see my cup of tea?
It is not seen, but you are visible, sir.
Okay.
Cup we can see, sir, not the tea.
Not the tea. Okay, thank you so much. I just stepped out to pick up a cup of tea. Now let us come to the next point. Till now what we have seen is creativity is all about...
Sir, you can continue, sir, now.
Yeah, please. You can mute others, Sushma madam. Yeah. Now, till now what we have seen is creativity is all about being inductive in thinking. That means we become creative by searching for more possibilities, by doubting things that are in front of us, finding new answers, finding infinite number of answers, logically evaluating those answers, and then finally reaching some logical is what we call it as creativity. Creativity is all about inductive thinking. Now let us see what is innovation. Now, before I tell you what is innovation, I would like you to tell me, what do you think is innovation? What is the difference between creativity and innovation? I'm throwing out the chart board. Please write, what do you think? Idea must be replicable. Okay. Continue. Something new, new possibility. To discover vaccine for corona. Different creativity. New idea. New ideas to be in execution. Mercy. It is like expressing as line, as mark or underline. Good. There are a lot of thoughts. I go with what Mercy said. Mercy, my compliments. An idea executed. Creativity versus innovation. Are creativity and innovation the same? Creativity is coming up with a big idea. Innovation is about executing the idea, converting the idea into a successful product, successful service, and your ability to take it to the market and sell it. An organization's capacity for innovation is creativity multiplied by execution. We use multiplication, not the sum, because if either creativity or execution has a score of 0, then the capacity for innovation is 0. That means if there is a creativity is 0, if you execute without creativity, or creativity is very high and if you don't execute, that is execution is 0, even both cases, then we will say our organization's capacity to innovate is 0. That's why we use a multiplication rather than sum. Now, if you see, innovation is equal to invention plus application. A little more elaborate. For an innovation to be called as an innovation, there should be a problem or a pain area for which you have an idea to remove that pain area or a problem. You execute your idea. Because of that, the problem gets removed or a value or benefit gets generated to the user. That means there is a pain area. There is an idea to remove the pain area. You execute the idea and it results in actual benefit to the person who is having the pain area. That is what is innovation. If I want to give you a example, say take somebody has put it, problem could be our coronavirus. idea is to create some vaccine. You have a formula, you have an idea, execute that, you implement that formula, create the vaccine, and benefit is when you administer to the people, the virus gets restricted. That means you get the utility of that. That is what is innovation. If you just have an idea, it is not innovation. If you just execute, it's not innovation. An idea plus execution, both put together, is innovation. Now, there are different types of innovation. Innovation in itself is a 2-day session, so I will not take you into everything about innovation. There are different types of innovation. Generally, what we need to know is incremental innovation and radical innovation. Incremental innovation is using the existing technology. You increase or add delta by delta to the existing one to make it better and even better. That is called as an incremental innovation. Here there is hardly any uncertainty because there is already a working prototype or a product with you. You are only making it better. Focuses on costs or feature improvements in the existing products, services, or processes. It improves the competitiveness within the current markets because if you make your product better in the market, you can sell your product better. So incremental innovation makes you better in the market. Whereas coming to radical innovation, it is a new technology, new item you are creating. So as such, since it is completely new, there is a lot of uncertainty. It focuses on new processes and products and services which have not been used in the past, creates a dramatic change that transforms the existing industries or creates new products or new industries. That is a radical innovation. Some people call radical innovation as breakthrough innovation also. Now, if you look at this model, I told you when I started this session that most of the people are creating products and services and giving it to customers. But customers are still not happy because what customer is looking is completely different, or what customer is looking for is something else, and what you are giving is something else. Now, absence of what customer wants creates certain amount of emotions in the customer. Now, this particular 4-quadrant diagram in front of you talks about what is customer's experience and how much important it is. Like, for example, if you are very fond of something and that something is not there, you feel very disappointed. But if you are not great, like for example, you like a particular teacher, your mathematics teacher or somebody, you are not well, you go all the way to the college only to attend to the teacher's lecture, and suddenly you come to know that teacher has gone for a meeting and is not available. This will create a huge amount of disappointment in you. Suppose there is another teacher, the subject is not of great importance to you and that is not there. That will not create a disappointment in you. Yes, you may see why the lecture is not there. A certain amount of irritation may come in, but it may not create a disappointment. But suppose you go to the college, suddenly they announce there is an extra class of the same mathematics teacher whom you love. It gives you a lot of delight. That means when you look at the importance of an item or a product with you, it's being there or not being there, or that particular item creates certain amount of experience in you, positive or negative. This 4-quadrant diagram shows. For example, suppose the importance to you is low and it is not available. That means it gives you certain amount of annoyance, you get irritated. Or item is very high importance and it is not there, then you feel disgusted. Similarly, you feel the importance is low and it gets, it gives you a positive experience. You may not jump in joy, but you say, okay, one extra thing has come. But if the importance is high and if it gives you a positive experience, you jump in joy. For example, I'll apply this to air travel. For example, if you sit in an aircraft and you ask for a Pepsi, I ask for a Coke, that air hostess says, I don't have a Coke, but I have a Pepsi. You definitely feel annoyed, but you don't feel disgusted. Okay, Pepsi is not okay, Coke is not there, I'll take a Pepsi or I will take something else. Similarly, suppose there are so many magazines in front of you, in front of your seat in the aircraft. They are not of great importance to you, but you get a good feeling. Oh, this airlines is good, yeah. They're giving me a lot of magazines. So it gives you a positive feeling and you feel that it's a thrill. But after you land at your destination, suddenly you find your bags have not come. Now you suddenly see that you don't have anything to wear the next day or even after reaching home. You feel disgusted. What is this? What type of air travel are you doing? If you can't give me my bags, what if you can't take care of my bags? Why are you running an airline? You feel disgusted. Say, for example, you have purchased an economy class ticket. Suddenly, when you come to the boarding point, that person says, sir, we have upgraded you to business class. You're sitting next to Hema Malini or I don't know these days actors. So Rakul Preet Singh, then you feel delighted. That means if something is of importance to you and gives you a positive experience, it gives delight. Something has importance to you and gives you a negative experience, it feels disgusted. Have you understood this 4-quadrant diagram? Go back to your chat box. If anybody thinks that it is not clear, I can tell you once again. Anybody not understood this 4-quadrant diagram?
Sir, one person has raised his hand.
Not clear.
Huh?
You can open him. You can open his mic.
One second.
Somebody wants one more example. I'll give it.
So, Tirumala sir, you can now talk. You can ask your question. Hello?
Yeah, can you ask your question?
Hello? Tirumala sir, are you there?
Okay. I think,
Hello, sir?
Madam, is he there?
Probably he is not asking. So,
Okay.
and few people are writing that some more examples may be given.
Yeah. People want one more example. Let me give you. All of you, all the students, most of you after engineering, you'll get married, right? And suppose you're for getting married, you want to go and impress the girl by meeting her, and you requested your friend that please send a car to me. Now, when you are going to meet a girl for the first time and you are trying to impress her, what will be your idea? How you would like to go? Can somebody write in chat box? Can somebody write on the chat box? I can't see it. Okay. Now, suppose your friend sends you a car when you're going to go and see a girl, and the car on the way it stops, and right up to the girl's house, you are pushing the car and goes. How do you feel? How do you feel? I can't see the chat box suddenly. Just 1 minute. Disgusting. Very good. Sheikh Saab says disgusting, irritating, disgusting, very bad. Lovely. Now, suppose your friend sends you a Mercedes. Then what happens? Suppose your friend sends you a Mercedes car. Then what happens? How do you feel? Nobody is writing anything. 16, 18, some messages are coming here, I think. Okay. Annoyed, not good. I'm asking, suppose your friend sends you a Mercedes car, how do you feel? Cloud 9, oh, feel happy, feel very proud, delighted, ask for a Lamborghini, oh, very good. Bed of roses, very proud. Okay. Now, what is the difference between the two? What your friend has, when he has sent you a car where you have to give dhakka throughout and you keep on pushing, you felt disgusted. But when the friend has sent you a Mercedes car, you felt delighted. Why? Because it was important for you to impress the girl. You somehow want to impress the girl, and at that point of time, something positive experience had delighted you, a negative experience had disgusted you. Now, for example, you wanted to take some flowers with you, or sweets, for example, you want to take some sweets. You told your friend, bring, say, some barfi or laddu so that I can take to the girl's house. The friend brings you, instead of laddu, he brings you Mysore pak. Now what happens? What do you feel? It is whether you take laddu or Mysore pak, what is important for you to carry some sweets to the place where you are going. But instead of laddu, he brought Mysore pak. So what happens here is the importance of that particular item is low. As long as you take sweets, it's fine. So all that you feel is that, okay, laddu is not there, let me take Mysore pak. Oh, I wanted to take laddu, it's not there, let me take Mysore pak. That means you get annoyed, but it does not feel you disgusted because you are not going empty-handed. Similarly, if he says, when he bringing laddu, he says, in the shop, with every kg of laddu, they are giving me half kilo of Mysore pak free. So I got laddu and Mysore pak both. Then what happens? It is not that by taking 2 packets, you are getting very extremely great impression, but it is an extra thing. You feel happy. You're taking 2 sweets. Somebody has put some heart symbol in here. Somebody is becoming very romantic. Very good. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to say is that if you see the example, since going in a style was important to you, when you got a car, which you made you give dhakka throughout up to the girl's house, with all sweating and all that, you felt disgusted. Instead of that, a great Mercedes or a Lamborghini has come, so you felt delighted because that was of importance to you. Taking sweets, instead of getting laddu, if you got Mysore pak, you got annoyed because you wanted to take laddu, but it was not available. But you were not that disgusted because you are not going empty-handed. And along with the laddu, if you also get extra Mysore pak, you felt thrilled. That means you got a little extra thing to take. But it's not that something very greatly delightful, because the importance of the item is less here. The importance of the item is more there. Are you able to understand the 4 concepts? What disgusts you, what delights you, what annoys you, what thrills you? Any question? Most of the people are understanding because the example is close to their heart. I see more girls are writing understood, understood, understood. They are really expecting someone to come in Mercedes. Lovely. Can I proceed now? Is the example enough? Now we will see what is a new concept called disruptive innovation. We have seen earlier 2 types of innovation. One is incremental innovation and the second is breakthrough innovation. Now we are seeing what is known as disruptive innovation. Yeah. Somebody has written something. Let me see. Okay. Great. Okay. See, disruptive innovation means whatever you're doing now will throw out what is existing in the market and create a new market. And it will also make everyone who is presently available in the market to get worried about what is their future. Like, for example, many of you who have been using a mobile phone before Jio has entered the market. Airtel was charging almost about 1500 rupees to 1000 rupees a month. And Airtel and 1 or 2 more companies were completely having monopoly in the market. You take it or leave it type of a thing. Suddenly Jio has come into the market, and Jio has come into the market overnight. The business of all others got completely down. That means you are going smooth sailing in the steady waters. Like a cyclone, it comes and disrupts you. The one which creates new market market and value network eventually disrupts an existing market or value networks. For those of you who had seen a floppy disk earlier, now many of you, if you even the college students, when we say floppy, then they say, what do you mean by a floppy? Those of you who have used a CD, many people do not find a CD drive today in many of the laptops, because CDs are also slowly disappearing from the market. Our pen drives are taking over. Cloud is.
Sir, excuse me. Please share your presentation, sir.
You are not able to see?
Yeah, no.
Oh no. Okay. Just a minute, please. How about
Yes.
now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Could you see the earlier slides?
No, sir.
I'm talking about this slide. This slide you could see?
Yeah, this one we can.
You saw it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. See, disruptive innovation is that which creates a new market and value network and eventually disrupts an existing market and value network, displacing established market leading firms, products, and alliances. This is what exactly I told you. When a new item comes in, slowly it pushes out the existing item from the market. That's what has happened when Jio came in for Airtel and Vodafone and others. That's what happened when pen drive came in for the CDs and floppy drives. That's what is going to happen now for all items where new things. What has happened to our earlier days? We used to have what is called a camera roll. In our younger days, we used to buy one roll which is to have 35 snaps, and we used to take 2 snaps at each time. And suddenly, we used to wait for almost 2 or 3 months for all the 35 exposures to be over, get it washed and see the photos. Now today, you take your mobile, within a second, you take a picture and you see it then and there. After another, if you want to print, put it to a printer. Within 10 minutes, you have your print. That means slowly the entire concept of having a roll, washing the roll, and seeing the pictures has disappeared. A new innovation has come in, which has thrown out the old this one. This term as first described by an American scholar called Clayton Christensen. He had recently, about a month and a half, 2 months back, he passed away. And I had some association with him because he was a TCS board member. And he the man who introduced this word called disruptive innovation. If you see, disruptive innovation tends to be produced by outsiders rather than existing market people. Now, if you see, in this particular disruptive innovation, a few things that are important is, there is one product or an innovation that's already in the market. People are already buying it and using it. Like, for example, say CDs. It's already being used. Suddenly, these people who are having the established players, when the pen drive came in, the first pen drive was only 64 KB or 32 kilobyte. And CD was already giving that time close to about 700 MB. Thereafter, DVD was giving close to about 7.5 GB. So the established player looked at this particular pen drive and felt, this is a small child. This cannot bother us. Because the value that was offering, the pen drive was offering, was very, very low. And they never thought pen drive will grow to a level that they can ever displace a CD. Now this pen drive has come, offering less value to the market. As a result, the CD markets have rejected this particular thing. We don't want it, and they continued with the existing. But the value offered by the new innovation, say pen drive, or has started to grow. Now, at this point of time, pen drive offers as much as 256 GB pen drive. That means all the CDs, all the DVDs, whatever they can offer, everything has got completely thrown out of the market because pen drive is offering so much of value. Suddenly, all others felt that they are no longer valid. Market stopped buying CDs, market stopped creating CD drives. So it has slowly started going out of the market. Till that time, new innovations have to look for new markets. Once the disruptive architecture becomes established in their new markets, these innovations raise the performance so steep that each architecture soon satisfies the needs of the customer in the established markets. Now, if you look at this diagram, well, in the beginning, you can see my cursor, the value being offered in the beginning is so low, the performance is so low, and the existing product's performance was so high. But as the time passes, it slowly goes up. At some point, meets the performance of the existing product, and after that, it starts raging in such a way that the performance being offered by the new item is far superior to the performance of the existing item. As a result, the new item gets accepted by the market much more than the existing item. This is what we call it a disruptive innovation. This has got the power to throw out the existing item or disrupt the existing item. That's why it's called disruptive innovation. Any question you have on disruptive innovation before I go? Is this concept clear? Great. Thank you.
Sir, it's okay. Hope we can move forward.
See, the next few examples of disruptive innovation, how digital photography has taken out the existing one, how LCD TVs and LED TVs have taken our cathode ray tubes. If you see the Wikipedia, how taken out all the encyclopedias, LED lights taking out the light bulbs, all these are examples of disruptive innovation. Some more, Reliance Jio with other mobile services, USB flash drive. Now magnetic drives vis-a-vis the solid state drives. Now solid state drives are slowly coming, but not as much storage power as the magnetic drives. So they are still entering, but it will be in a year or so, the magnetic drives will be completely thrown out of the market. Ola, Uber, when they came in, they threw out all black and yellow taxis out of the market. Mainframe computers were thrown out by the personal computers. Discrete ICs were thrown out by ASICs or system on chip devices, etc. So this is where we call it a disruptive innovation. Now we are going a little ahead. What is raw material for innovation? Raw material for innovation is, firstly, good ideas have to come in. That's where we have learned about inductive thinking. These ideas will have to be experimented. That is, for us to validate these ideas. And after that, we have to have customer insights, or whoever is the user of the product or services should be associated with it. And that is what we call it as raw material for innovation. At this point, we'll stop for a minute and Professor Chakravarti, would you like to take the poll 1?
Sir, we will take poll.
Yeah.
Sir, can you see the poll?
Yeah, I can see it. Only 2 questions I can see. Do we have more questions?
Sir, we should go next.
Okay.
Without doctor.
I can't see the next coming. Others are able to see everything?
Total 10 questions.
Yeah, I think they are able to see it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm not getting the next button due to some reason, but not an issue. How much time are you giving, madam?
Sir, we can give 3 to 4 minutes
Yeah, okay.
because they need to read all these multiple
yes.
choices.
Yes,
It will
yes.
take time, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. It's okay.
Okay, no problem.
Because for typing itself, I took almost 15 minutes.
No problem.
See, whether the answer may be right or wrong, just answer it. So don't worry about the correct answer. Some answer is better than no answer. And what I could see is among 213 participants, only 31% voted till now. Even when I'm polling whether you are seeing the screen or whether you are listening to the presenter voice, out of 214, only 50% they are giving answers. That means the remaining people just switched on the Zoom and they are sleeping. They based upon the poll, how many people they poll. Maybe I recommend organizers to give the certificate. See, just for namesake, registering and not attending the sessions is not fair. Again, I'm telling, don't worry about the correct answer, just answer it. Even you need not reconfirm that you submitted the poll in the chat box. We could see whoever submitted the poll. Venkatraman garu.
Okay, should I now discuss the answers?
And sir, in 40 seconds,
Yeah.
I'll close it, then we can discuss.
Okay.
The poll will be closed in 20 seconds. See, unnecessarily don't raise the hands. Okay, it will distract everybody. See, raising hands means if you have any problem, you can raise, or if you want to ask, you want to be unmuted, then you can raise the hands. And people are just clicking the raised hand symbol to check whether it is working or not. See, we know that it is working. Don't press it and check it once. So all you are educated and again doing the same thing. Sir, I'm ending the poll now.
Yeah, some people are telling they have not been able to see the poll, but fine, no problem. Okay, should I start the answers?
Yes, sir, I'm sharing the results.
Please.
Can you see the shared results, sir? Poll results.
Not yet. I think some are able to see.
No, sir, you will be able to see that shared results.
Okay. No, attendees should see the poll results.
Based on the poll. Sir, attendees also are able to see.
They're able to see. Very great.
Tell the answers one by one.
Okay. Now, if you see the questions on poll 1, an organization's capacity for innovation, as we have seen, the answer is B, creativity multiplied by execution. We have also discussed that even if it's like an AND gate, even if one of them is not working, one of them is 0, the entire thing will be 0. That's why creativity multiplied by execution. You can see the answers, na, Professor Chakravarti?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Question 2, induction thinking is used to create divergence. Induction is the one which is creating infinite number of possibilities. That's how you interpreted the picture, so many possibilities. That is to create divergence. Raw material for innovation is ideas, experimentation, and customer insights. We just discussed it just 1 minute before the poll. If a user experience creates negative emotion, and if it is of high importance, it is definitely disgusted. You have seen this with several examples. Direction thinking is one which creates convergence. The minute you bring in logic, slowly you narrow down the possibilities, it creates convergence. Box is a mind's fuzzy representation of reality. We have seen that. Thinking in boxes is unavoidable. It is no longer optional. Inductive thinking helps us to create infinite number of possibilities. Inductive thinking. Deductive thinking uses both logical process and leads to finite number of solutions, and uses left side of the brain. Left side of the brain is what is called logic of the brain. So it is fourth option. Question 10 is uncertainty is maximum in radical innovation. We have just seen it a few seconds before we started the poll. Any questions on the poll, please? Somebody's voice is too low. Are you finding voice low, Chakravarti garu?
No, sir. If they use mobile phone and if they get any incoming call, automatically voice will be low down. So they need to re-log in.
Okay, okay.
That is a technical issue with the Zoom.
Thank you for your participation in the poll. Now, let's get into what is design thinking. again this poll. Design thinking is thus far the best known method of accurately capturing tacit and explicit insights of the customers. The word tacit and explicit is very important. Many times, so many thoughts come inside us. We may not say it out, we may not loudly express it, but those thoughts, like for example, I am your friend, I come to you, I ask you for a loan of say 100 rupees, but within your mind, you're thinking, yeah, if I give 100 rupees, this man may not give back. So you will, but explicitly you say, oh, I see, oh, you need it, very genuine need, all these things you say, but you take a decision, think that, yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the money. Even if you have the money, your decision gets influenced by your thoughts, which you might not have expressed. That is what is called tacit thoughts. Explicit thoughts is what you directly express. Sometimes you may say, yeah, I don't believe in giving loans. You may explain. Many people may not say that, but they say some reason that you will not give a loan. So whatever is the tacit and explicit thoughts of the customers, to capture them is what we call it a design thinking. The reason why we have to capture both is customers' decisions are more influenced by his thoughts which he may not have expressed. And final decision of buy a product or not buy a product gets influenced by his thoughts, though he might not have expressed. That's why it's important to capture both tacit and explicit insights of the customer, which creates the real value for the customer. Now, I have asked you a question, what is empathy? Can somebody write in the chat board what do you think is empathy? Tacit means that which is not expressed, that is inside your mind. That is tacit. Somebody asked me what is tacit. Yeah, what is empathy? I have asked a question. Feeling pain of others. Oh, lovely. Knowing the requirement of a user. Action and sympathy. Empathy means understanding. Lovely. Ability to understand others' feelings. Many times we also say, put yourself in the other man's shoes. You all must have heard, put yourself in the other man's shoes. That means you think like him. If somebody says, I'm hungry, if you have to think that you are hungry and how you will feel. I'm angry. Suppose when your father comes home and he behaves little annoyed way with you and later says, I'm quite angry, that's why I did because of something else, then you should be able to understand an angry man can behave in this way. Your ability to put yourself in the other man's shoes is what is called as empathy. The ability to understand the thoughts or feelings of the other man. Oh, lovely. Good. With this background, we go, design should ideally start with empathy. That is, my ability to think how my user or my customer or consumer thinks. Establish a deep understanding of those we are designing for. Whatever item that we are designing, our ability to understand, deeply understand the user's feelings is what is called as empathy. Now, managers who thought like designers should put themselves in their customer's shoes. Now, the designers, whoever is designing, unless they are able to put themselves in the customer's shoes and use it, they will never be able to understand what customer thinks. I'll give you an example. In my house, I prepared a guest room. I put a TV in the room, everything possible, a good bed, good mattress, everything. And I thought I provided everything to the customer, to the user of that room. I put a shower in the washroom, everything was done. Then one day what happened, about a year or two back, my wife suddenly got a swine flu, and we all were told that she should be in an independent room. So I was sleeping in the guest room. When I was sleeping in the guest room, suddenly I started noticing so many deficiencies in the room that I have created for the guests. Firstly, the remote I provided, from when you are lying down in the bed, it was not getting accurate angle to switch off the TV. As a result, the person who's lying down has to sit up and switch off. Similarly, when I'm get the shower that I provided was giving very low force of water, the person doesn't feel a happy bath. All these problems I could understand because I spent a few days in that room. Till that time, as long as I designed the room and provided the services to my guests, I always thought I provided the best room to my guests. But only when I started spending some time in that room, I realized that room had so many deficiencies, which I got it rectified. The whole idea is, every time you create something, unless you put yourself into the user's shoes and start using it at least once and see how they feel, you will never be able to see what exactly the reaction of the user. So even if you have created the best product, sometimes the best product may fail in the market because it does not meet some of the requirements of the user. Now, it is just not enough by knowing the customers, but our ability to see the customer, deep understanding of the customer, and it involves developing an understanding of both their emotional needs and rational needs. This is where they're tacit and explicit. Rational is what they express. Emotional is what they don't express. Design thinking translates design from an abstract idea into a practical, everyday tool for any manager or designer can profit from. It teaches you the tools you will need to marry the design approach to traditional business thinking in ways that enhance your ability to profitably grow your business. Great design inevitably starts with the question, what if anything were possible? That is, whatever is required, if I can do that, what if everything is possible, how can I design it? That is what it starts with, what if everything were possible? A comparison of a business thinking with design thinking, if you see, business thinking is rational, whereas design thinking is more subjective and emotional. Business thinking looks at the best answers, and emotional thinking looks at better and better answers. Business thinking looks at the planning of the process, where design thinking is actual doing of the process. Design drivers are logic and numerical models in the business, where design thinking, emotional drivers are there. And finally, levels of focus is abstract or particular, whereas in design thinking, it is iterative movement between the abstract and particular. Design myths, number one is, don't ask a question you don't have answer to. Generally, people say, if you don't know the answer yourself, don't ask. Whereas design thinking says, don't worry about the answer. Ask your question. Answer will subsequently emerge. That means better is reality. Reality is start in the unknown. You may not know the answer yourself. but don't get worried. But if there is a question which is rightly put, answer will eventually emerge. The second myth is think big. That means if you're giving think big, then only it happens. Where a design thinking says start small, slowly increase it to big. Don't start making it big. Focus on meeting genuine human needs, slowly build up on the idea, it will happen. Now, if you look at this diagram, there's something called left side of the brain and the right side of the brain. Left side is what is logic, analytics, rational, objective, facts, data, all this on the left side. And the right side of the brain is creativity, holistic, subjective, emotions, feelings. All these are the right side of the brain. Design thinking is the one which combines both creative and analytic things. That is one which combines both right side of the brain and the left side of the brain. Now I'll introduce you 4 questions and 10 tools in design thinking. The 4 questions are what is, what if, what was, and what works. What is stage is, what is the present situation? What is the current reality? What if is, what new future can you create for your customer? What was is, out of the possibilities that you can create to the customer, what is it that delights the customer? What was the customer? And out of the things what was, what is it that actually works and delivers the value is what works. Now, if you look at this diagram, you can see what is what is currently the state. What if is all the possibilities using your inductive thinking. Think of all the possibilities. What if everything were possible? What was is out of the possibilities, what is it that customer gets pleased about, and what works is out of that, what works. Now, if you look at this diagram, can you get any idea why each question area provided is different? Some is low, some is high. Can somebody give an idea why is it so? Why is it that, what is this? What if is bigger? What if is smaller? What was is smaller? Different possibilities based on our ability of thinking. Great. Some of you have come out with very nice answers. See, current reality, what is there is what is current reality. So what is now presently existing, small. What if is with inductive thinking, you're seeing what if everything is possible. That means is a whole infinite number of possibilities. That's why you see it is much bigger than all others. Out of all this, what was it a subset? That means it is out of the ones that you thought about, what is it that delights the customer? I've told you already, for delighting the customer, the importance should be high and the experience should be good. Out of the things that you have thought of possibilities, what was it, what delights the customer? And out of that, now you come, say you thought of 1,000 possibilities, out of which 10 possibilities are the ones customer liked it. And out of these 10 possibilities, say 3 possibilities actually work. Because you create a possibility. It has to be technically possible. It has to be viable business. All this will have to be thought about. So what works is the smallest one or two items, one or two things that really works out of what has given the delight to the customer. You pick up those one or two which are really possible, what works. That's how the sizes of this particular area under the curve. Now, widening and narrowing of the bands around each question represents divergent and convergent thinking. Divergence happens in what if, convergent happens in as you come down to what was and what works. In the early part of each stage of the design thinking process, we are progressively expanding our field of vision, looking as broadly as expansively around as possible in order not to be trapped by our usual problem of framing and pre-existing set of solutions. That means you are not keeping any boundaries and we are looking at everything is possible. After we have generated all the possibilities, we begin to review the process by converging. That is what is most liked by the customer, out of which what is most promising or works. Then there are 10 essential tools that a designer, a design thinker uses to address these 4 questions. And these tools are, in what is stage is to understand what is the present status. There are tools called journey mapping, value chain analysis, and mind mapping. This is called what is stage. Then what if stage is brainstorming, and concept development is what if stage, and what was stage is what testing the assumptions, rapid prototyping to show the customer, and what works is finally co-creating with the customer and launching our product. So these are the 10 tools. Now, visualization is something which goes all across your ability to visualize what is happening. Journey mapping is assessing the customer's present state. Value chain analysis is value that supports the journey. Mind mapping is generating insights. We'll see each one of them. Brainstorming is creating the ideas, new possibilities. Concept development is assembling these things into alternative solutions. Assumption testing is testing these assumptions, what works and what may not work. Rapid prototyping is create a prototype to the customer and show him how it looks. Customer co-creation is actually creating along with the customer which meets his requirement and then launching the product. These are the 10 tools. Are there any questions on these 4 questions and 10 tools? Each one of the tool will separately deal with it. Visualization, which is a part of it, is a big tool, meta tool, which we call it in as our database, metabase. So fundamental to the way the designers work that it shows virtually in every stage. Often visualization is integral to everything. Your ability to visualize what you're talking is visualization. What is step away from the crystal ball and see actually happening. Then we go to customer journey mapping is to find out, exploring what exactly is happening. Then comes value chain analysis. Some of you who are from engineering would have understood what is value chain analysis. And when a process involves several steps, some steps add value to you, some steps do not add value to you. To assess what are the activities that are involved and what activities are actually adding value and what activities are not adding value. And efficiency of your process or service is determined by dividing the value adding activities time by the total time. That means if you are spending 2 hours in a departmental store, out of which if you say that only 60 minutes has added value, another 60 minutes you are actually waiting in various queues, that means the efficiency of the service is only 50%. That is called value adding and non-value adding. Mind mapping tool is to organize the information of the customer's current reality. We'll see how it works. What if stage is, having synthesized the present situation, we start ideating as to what all is possible to improve the present state of the customer. What are the new possibilities, trends, and what are the uncertainties? We are beginning to develop the hypothesis that what could be a new process or new system that actually meets the customer's needs. That means here you are having inductive thinking to think all types of possibilities. What if everything is possible? After the brainstorming, you develop the concept, and what is out of all the possibilities that you have shown your user, what is it that has given him the delight? What owes him? This that feeling of this is what I want is an expression of delight. We may generate 300 ideas of delight, which ultimately narrow down to 20 odd ideas may actually give that great feeling to the customer. Out of these, only 5 or 6 will eventually move forward to marketplace testing. Now, you've seen what is, what if, what was is, testing those things which have actually possibilities that you have realized, and these testing, assumption testing each one of them and showing him a prototype to the user so that customer says, oh, this is good, this is good. Whatever ones that he felt good, selecting them out of the infinite possibilities that you created in the what if stage is what was stage. Ultimately, what works is creating that and seeing technical possibilities, and ultimately launching that is what works. Now, another way of looking at design thinking, it has got 5 steps. First step is to empathize, that is, put yourself into the customer's shoes. Second step is to define. Define means correctly define customer's present situation. Third step is to ideate, that is what if stage, taking out all possible ideas. Fourth step is to what was and what works, create prototypes, test it, and finally take out something that is what we call it as design thinking. Design thinking allows us to combine a right-brained creative thinking with left-brained analytical thinking. It is a systematic and collaborative approach for identifying and creatively solving problems. It is a combination of left brain and right brain, or creative and analytical thinking. Key characteristics, it involves a mindset that is human-centered, empathetic, collaborative, optimistic, and experimental. Human-centered is showing our empathy. Collaborative is working along with the user. Optimistic and experimental in nature. Now it shows approaching problems as a designer. Thinking process is intentionally made non-linear. Non-linear means your ability to think in a wild manner, the way you have thought about the picture that I have shown, hundreds of ideas that have come out. That means all possibilities looking at is making it intentionally non-linear. Solution is approached through several iterations. That is, you don't start big, you start small and keep on building up several iterations, and presented through simple prototypes and final solution is arrived with significant feedback from the user. Now, with this diagram, if you look at, user desirability is what customer wants. Technical feasibility is he may want a heaven, whether you can create heaven technically or not is technical feasibility. And business viability is after making it, is it possible for us to create value with that in the markets? So that is what is called design work. The same thing, if you see little differently, if you see technical feasibility is the circle at the left bottom, business is right bottom, desirability is on the top. The intersection of desirability and feasibility is called functional innovation. The intersection of business viability and people is called emotional innovation. The intersection of technology and business is called process innovation. Intersection of all the three circles is called experience innovation. That is to create a new innovation, which is what people want, what technically possible, also what is feasible from the business point of view. All three things, when they match, that is what we call design thinking for our principles. I will, Sushma madam,
Sir,
should
Sir.
we continue or should we have a logical break for starting again?
Sir, actually, we told till 12:30.
So
So,
what we can do is,
pardon, sir?
what time are we getting back to the this one session?
Again, by 2:30, we will be getting back, sir.
Okay.
One second, our principal sir has one word he'll say.
Please.
Break is.
sir, good afternoon, sir. Murthy garu, JVR Murthy garu.
గుడ్ ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ అండి
Sir,
సార్ భట్టా గారు నమస్కారం సార్ గుడ్ ఆఫ్టర్నూన్
Sir, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
ఫైన్ సార్ థ్యాంక్ యూ ఇట్స్ ప్లెజర్ సీయింగ్ యూ హియర్ సార్ అడ్రెసింగ్ అవర్ స్టూడెంట్
Thank you so much, sir.
సార్ జేవిఆర్ గారు
sir, Subbarao garu మాట్లాడుతున్నారు.
సార్ గుడ్
జేవిఆర్
మార్నింగ్
గారు గుడ్ మార్నింగ్
చెప్పండి,
గుడ్ మార్నింగ్
వెరీ గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ సార్
ఏం లేదు మీరు